Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast is dedicated to all things Horus Heresy. This podcast delves into the grimdark universe where Primarchs clash, legions rise, and loyalties fracture faster than a Land Raider's track. But it's not just about the lore of the Horus Heresy. The Accountabilibuddies also explore the gaming side of things, from painting and modeling tips to product reviews and ideas to help you in your hobby. So, whether you're a seasoned Forge World veteran or a fresh-faced scout, this podcast is your Vox channel to the galaxy. Expect discussions on lore, modeling, gaming, and maybe even the shenanigans that your hosts somehow seem to find their way into. Remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there are only two things you can count on: heresy and your trusty Accountabilibuddies.
Welcome to episode 129 of Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast, where in fact we are still here and holding strong after all this time behind enemy lines. So before we get any further down the line, let's go ahead and start introducing our hosts. I'm Jack with
Brian,
Duncan,
Jamie,
and John.
Jack. So before we get any further down here, let's go ahead and kick it over to a quick station identification.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
To a quick station identification. And thank you to our patrons, because without you, Duncan would not be painting an Ultramarines army here in the future. We are so close. With your help, we will get him to paint the boys in blues, and this will maintain a Ultramarines podcast. So before he has time to eject, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to John to talk about his hobby progress for the week or 2 weeks. John?
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago on Hobby Progress Night, I dug out the old knights that I built a couple years ago. I just never finished them off. The main thing was, drilling them out and adding in the brass grab handles that I'd made all that time ago, and kind of cleaning them up and putting some other stuff on there. Like when I'd done the masking for all the stripes and things like that, I just kind of left it as is. I didn't really do any manual touch-ups and stuff. So went back through and did all that, did a lot of cleanup on those, got those finished. Got my Acastus cleaned up this week so I can start assembling it when I get back from my work trip this coming week. And that's been pretty much it for me. Just kind of trying to finish off some of these half-finished projects. What about Brian?
I have been deep cleaning my airbrush because the last time I used it, I don't know if I was just lazy or got distracted, but I did not do a very good job, and it is thoroughly crudted up. I've also been inventorying terrain for the future Michigan GT coming up in early October. So that's been a fun Easter egg hunt, trying to track things down. How about Duncan?
Well, this week I got the Dread a lot closer, or the Contemptor, the blue Dread that I have been painting closer to the finish line. I got all the metals added to it. I've touched up the skulls, got the reds down. Pretty much completed his multi-gun or his Gravis multi-cannon or whatever it's going to be called whenever we get to that point. I got that finished. I need to work more on his fist because it's not done. I need to work a little bit more. I need to do all the lightning decals and work a little bit more on some of the flesh on it. But it's looking pretty good. It definitely looks Night Lords, and I'm happy with where it's going. And then yesterday, I got a game in with our patron and friend Trevor went over to his house, played a game of his word bearers versus my world eaters. Got a whole bunch of pictures taken on that. His game setup's pretty nice. Hadn't been there before, so I really liked how that looked. I really liked the way he actually has marked his actual gaming table to where you can sit there and just line out the various deployment zones underneath notches that he's actually marked on the table itself. So it actually makes sense for that. I kind of like that a lot. Like I said, played a game with him. World Eater Rampagers did World Eater Rampagers things. They ate stuff. They got shot off the table. They ate more stuff. More of them got killed off the table. I consistently couldn't make a single leadership test whenever I lost the combats because I kept doing that. So that kept happening. It was a fun game. I don't like knights. I don't like armatures or armigers. Yeah, that's about all there is to that. So one thing I'm going to make a comment on. This is the second time I've played against demons, like the little bitty summon demons and demon brute summon demons. Those bastards
Like
can
lesser
be
demons.
Yeah, lesser demons, and then the demon brute summon demons as well.
Yep.
Those guys can be a speed bump, a pretty effective one.
Yeah, they took apart my armigers at Dallas Open.
Yeah, they're I was jumping on them with 10 rampagers at a time and just not able to chop through all of them when there's like 6 of them in a pile. I just couldn't chop
Don't
through.
they have like rending too or something like that?
They were cutting me apart anyway because, yeah, they don't have brutal, I don't think. Those are the other bigger ones.
Okay.
But these are like toughness 5, strength 5, 3 wounds, 5 up in bone save. Yeah, they just don't.
Only rending 6 up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they just don't fall over when you hit them because there's so many wounds and invulnerable saves. It's just, it was fun, but they're a pretty effective speed bump, and apparently they also have line. So, hey, look, scoring troops, which my army didn't have at all. What a shot! Anyway, that's a digression. Good game, good guy. Had fun. Then we hung out with he and his wife Megan, and we had some good food. And then we came home and stopped at Buc-ee's and got brisket sandwiches that we had for lunch today. So that was that. I think I will give it to Jamie. What have you done hobby-wise this week or this past 2 weeks?
I've done a decent amount. I've been working on Project HOV Lane Passenger, and which is a Warbringer Titan and 28 millimeter scale. If people don't know, it's finished like building, at least the main body and the quake cannon. And so past couple of weeks, I've been starting to work on the base because it'll sit on its own like balanced, but it's very top heavy. So, and I'm worried that it may fall over backwards because of all the stuff for the quake cannon on the back. So I've been making a base with a support stand that's like an acrylic peg that kind of goes up its butt, basically, keep it from flipping over backwards. And so it's been a little bit of trial and error with that. And then I started painting. I've primed it, and then I've started laying metallic layers down on the legs, and it's starting to look good. And then of course I've been press gang, printing stuff for John and for Brian, and just about done with all John's stuff. And then almost done with Brian Odin's stuff too. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the Titans, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, just because I'm kind of in hold pattern for 3.0. I've got a huge army of Dark Angels and a huge army of Night Lords, and I really don't want to push into other stuff and then have to redo stuff if I need to. So that's kind of why I'm just holding out. So I guess, how about, is Jack gone?
Nope.
What if 55 USS North Carolina, also known as the Showboat, in person? Like, I touched it, I crawled on it. I'm pretty sure I went through 10 flights of stairs.
Have you? So you're okay. I was going to say, have you been to the USS Alabama down in Mobile?
US Alabama. I think the new goal is we're traveling to hit all the World War II Navy museum installations in the United States. I think that's going to be like a multi-year goal. So
So if you ever make it down to the Gulf Coast, let me know, because we usually do all that stuff with the family.
we'll do.
And yeah, USS Alabama, you can go all the way up to the spotters towers up in the top of the, essentially like where the mast would be.
Yeah.
Really, really high up. So it's pretty cool.
So so I think that's it. So I think we know what we need to do. Do you know what we need to do?
Is it turn it over to John with the news?
Yep, turn it over to John with the news.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm glad to have a bunch of news this week. So, first thing would probably be when GW came out and dropped a whole bunch of new releases. So, last week we missed the discussions of. Sorry, everybody, I'm a little bit behind on this. We missed the discussions of the new knights that came out for 40K. So, those came up for pre order this week. The Knight Ruinator for Chaos Knights, as well as a large Hound Pack Lance if you want to play Chaos Knights. You can get all your Armigers and Helverins all together in one big box.
Woo.
So 7 Helverins for
If you-
$240. Not the
So,
greatest price.
John, I
but
have a question for you, since you may
You-
know. So with those Chaos Helverins, is it the same base sprue like for the regular armatures, and then there's a Chaos sprue, or is it like literally like a different model?
I've never bought one, but what I can tell is it looks like it's the same base sprue.
Okay.
You may have to get better weapons because it looks like some of these come with different
Yeah.
weapons. But Tarot and other people have all the different weapons for that type of stuff. If you have to be perfect to your 30K needs. And then the new Chaos Knights comes with a new weapon, this wonky 3-prong drill thingy, and then a giant flamethrower. Next week, we're getting the release of a new Kill Team box, which we saw previewed a long time ago. Bunch of Tyranid terrain in there for all the event runners. Some Raveners and Mechanicum stuff. And more importantly, a whole bunch of Heresy releases. The Tarantula Sentry guns in all their different Volkite, Melta, Heavy Bolter, Last Cannon versions. The Tarantula missile batteries with both types of missiles. The Quad Heavy Bolter and Graviton Cannon Rapier set. And the Rapier Laser Destroyer and Quad Launcher battery set.
I wonder which one everybody's going to buy.
Obviously, it's the tarantula with the missiles.
Yes. Which all that was kind of out of left field. Would you not agree?
Yeah, the way they positioned it was like it was coming after the box, and then all of a sudden we just
Yeah,
get
that's
all
kind of what I figured too. It'd be like one of the first releases after the new box.
That's kind of what they said during the actual preview. Was all the stuff they were talking about was coming after Saturnine dropped, and yet here we are with the pre-order for this. And I don't know about you all, but I personally haven't seen Saturnine's pre-order drop yet. So
no, but this week we are getting the book. Remember, at 2 a.m.
True. Yeah, I'll be asleep at that time. So
I'll set an alarm. I'll try to get one.
There you go.
And then from GW merch, we saw the release of the Joy Toy Scale Predator.
Is it really only $170?
Yeah, that seems really cheap considering what everything else from Joy Toy costs.
Well, I
Wait,
mean,
hold
like,
on.
isn't a night like $600?
Yeah,
Isn't
So,
like a
like-
regular Marine almost $100 or more?
Yeah.
no, they're like 40, if that.
Oh, really?
Well, like the HQ style stuff, like the special
Yeah,
characters
those are like 70.
more
Right,
than
yeah,
that.
right here is a basic Mark III
Okay.
Marine, $40. Terminators, 50.
Okay.
I'm not saying we need to start playing Joy Toy Scale, but it's apparently coming.
Maybe we need to start running Joy
Do
Toy
it.
Predators.
Do it.
I think it'd be probably a lot cheaper to print that. There's also a
I
whole
bet
bunch
the
of
shipping on it.
bundles that came out. So we've got the Space Marine 2 bundle, we've got the Bolt Gun bundle. These are just a shirt and a game mat and a journal. Starforge dropped some stuff. So we've got first up, the Iron Warriors.
Say $782.76.
Yeah,
It does. That's not Australian
Sorry,
either.
is that better? $197.
No, it's not.
Yeah, go back
No,
to the other
it's
one.
not.
Go back to the other one. And that is
difference is-
gold-plated mesh.
Yeah.
For the. Oof.
I almost think it looks better with the yellow than it does with the gold.
Yeah.
Look,
The one with the yellow.
I have, so there's the gold
Yeah, that's
and there's the yellow. I like the yellow better.
This is are they going to do like all the Legions rings? Is it basically what's going on here?
I don't know about that. I know that, like I have the Emperor necklace that was 100 when it came out. Now it's like 140. And then my wedding ring was the Aquila, which was 100 when it came out. And then the gold version was literally just the Aquila was gold, was 500. There's I don't see a logic in their pricing. Like even that custom design Emperor ring that I wear now that came from Australia, he makes them each custom by hand, was 200 US shipped.
Was the Imperial Fist one that we looked at a couple weeks ago?
I think that was not even close to the almost $800.
165 or 650.
Yeah, it just proves that the Iron Warriors are better. We cost more. Therefore, we're more valuable. We have a higher price for entry.
The other thing that dropped is the Nurgle Plague Bell.
I
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Yeah, for front door. This is your new ringer, sir.
That's our doorbell right there.
You
Yep.
look so happy to be guarding your door frame.
May the grandfather's blessings be upon you, Jamie.
I always got a little nurgling on the bell.
I think that'd be better if it was dangling from the clapper. That would be funnier.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that in the song "For Whom the Bell Tolls," it tolls for thee.
Papa Nurgle.
Thee is gonna be-
For whom the bell tolls, it's Papa Nurgle.
And then, kind of Kickstarter wise, we had Steamforge Games has now announced that they're going to push back P3 paints yet again. And we're getting a new type of pre-order version through this other not Kickstarter website called GameFound. I've been getting ads from them for a while. They've done a couple of big board games. One of them was G.I. Joe.
Heroes.
They're doing another Kickstarter for the P3 line through GameFound coming soon. So no telling when this stuff is ever actually going to come to the freaking stores.
So what you're telling me is you can't just walk up to their booth at Adepticon and grab as much Raven Coal Black as possible.
Correct.
Dang it. Maybe next year.
The other things that have come out, some people have started noticing that Joy Toy figures are starting to get their own scale creep. Yeah, it's kind of the way that GW goes. So you can see her on the right. This is the old Primaris release, and then some of the new Heresy stuff. moving into Alfarius, and then some of the new Chaos and Primaris releases for Space Marine 2. So if you've bought original Joy Toy stuff, don't expect it to be the same with your current Joy Toy stuff. Yeah.
Hey, Tactical
Tactical
Rock.
Rock.
Yes,
Tactical Rock time.
And we talked about the Knight earlier. There is the Knight box with a normal 40k scale Knight standing on top of it.
Oh my
good
lord.
God.
And then what it looks like deployed with the rest of the stuff.
And that
Oh,
has a
Lord.
base on it too, right?
It has
And they have to.
It's like your Titan had, so it's got the stick up its ass.
Yeah, because I thought they were having trouble with the balance on it.
Yeah, and there's also 2 different sets of LEDs. There's a symbol switch in the head that has its own battery, and then there's a switch inside to light all the cockpit stuff.
Nice.
And then Duncan is doing another new brand of paint called Dark Arts. I went ahead and kickstarted this one. This is a line. Yeah, I've been wanting to do my Empire, and if we do Trench Crusade, it'll be done in more darker kind of
Desaturated.
yeah.
So are these still too thin coats, or is this a totally another company?
No, this is the
It's
same.
too thin coat,
Yeah.
but it's just a new brand of 30 or new type of 30 paints.
Gotcha.
It's saturated, so they're designed for Trench Crusade is what he's pushing it for, but
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
And the full box of 30 paints was $90 for the early bird, so that's $3 a bottle. They're only $5. That's a pretty good discount. And then all the go ahead.
I was gonna say that's really not a bad set.
No.
I mean, going up when you showed the colors thing.
Yeah, it comes with a patch and some other stuff that he's been adding on. So there's a patch, a texture board. Here we go. A free STL for something, a pin badge, a wristband, a patch, and then they're adding an MDF palette as well. So there's a bunch of cool shit that they're throwing in for free. It's just nice.
Yeah. You control back up to your metallics. I kind of like them, but not enough for $100 investment for the metallics.
Yeah,
Because
I wouldn't buy it if I was just after like 1 or 2 colors, but I
Yeah.
thought this would be a good way to restart certain things.
You're my certain thing.
I will say I do like that deep red ink you're showing right there.
Yeah. But that's all we've got for the news. I need to take a minute break to let the dog go out because he's getting antsy. So Duncan, what's our main topic?
We'll make Duncan start talking about the main topic. Duncan, what is the main topic?
Wait. Are we saying that we actually have topics? We don't just ramble around carelessly around here?
Yellow block.
Yes.
Applicable.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I don't think we actually had previously mentioned what tonight's topic was. So if John has a brilliant topic for us to talk about, I think that would be absolutely crackerjack and wonderful. And yeah, I know. So since John's gone, I don't have a topic. Hang on. Let me commune with my paint gods. Okay, so cool. So what we think you should be doing to prepare yourself for the advent of 3rd edition. Okay. Jack, what do you think you should be doing right now to prepare yourself for the advent of 3rd edition?
Sticking your head in the sand because the sky is falling.
Okay.
100.
That is 100% exactly the way you should be. You should absolutely bury your head in the sand.
I got some input in this matter.
Oh, okay. Ryan, what's your input on what you should do to prepare for 3rd edition coming out?
You need to work as much overtime as you can between now and early July to be able to afford this new edition launch.
There you go.
That's also fair. That's also fair. If you have overtime available to you through work that you'll actually get paid for and not just get the misery of working overtime unpaid, then yes, that would be something else you could do. I was personally going to say... okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Jamie.
Paint your mini?
Ooh, that's another really good one.
But you
And
don't know what color you're going to paint them.
so that's actually where I'm going to go with it from here in a moment. Other than Jack's sticking your head in the sand and don't panic, because everything out there other than the official snippets and rules bits that we keep getting from GW, everybody is speculating like crazy. There's
and
so much
that's
wild speculation swinging from left, right, up, down, out of nowhere. Do not panic, please.
I'm kind of glad we're not going to cover like so we've discussed offline about not covering rules snippets as they come out, because
We did.
until we get the whole thing, it's not worth it. Like there's
Yeah,
if we read
you're
those
getting like
articles,
a
there's
little
so
Yeah, you're getting like a little microscopic view of it, and you don't know how it interacts with everything as a whole. So
yeah.
it's
Very
just jumping to
much.
conclusions at this point.
So while
Yeah,
you could sit there and say, "Oh, the chainsaw does this," that means that the thunder hammer has to do that. No, don't.
Everybody's got to use Meltas.
we don't even know if breaching is going to be the same rule, and it's
Yeah,
right.
on stuff.
But my dad said that running las cannons are going to be the new meta.
Well, first off, your dad's wrong, because
Oh.
that's the current meta. So tell your dad no.
Seen and seen, if you know what I mean.
Only 12? He's a piker. So no, I mean, all these rule snippets we keep getting that say heavy bolters get +1 shot if they stand still, and then people extrapolating that to mean that heavy weapons can fire without penalty on the move, and this and that and the other thing. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. John doesn't know what the rules are. We all know that Jack doesn't know the rules for 2nd edition, let alone what the rules are for 3rd edition. So he doesn't know. Jack knows he has chocolate chip cookies. That's about it.
It's the shaft, and then the cookies are the balls.
Jack, I swear to God,
I'm not drinking, I swear to God.
if you were, it would still just be the same. We wouldn't be able to
Would
tell.
be. But no, Duncan, you are 100% right. The sky is not falling. Be like Jack. Don't pay attention to anything that is coming out, because then you can't be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you're gonna be
paint
here
your
playing
shit.
Heresy. You're gonna be here playing Heresy. Here's how I personally believe, and we can all chime in on this as we go, is how you can best prepare for Heresy 3.0. Number 1, ignore all the smoke, the rumors, the mirrors, everything, because no one knows anything until they've got a rulebook in their hands.
Speak for the
course.
podcast.
Of
What
course.
you need to do to get ready for 3rd ed is you need to go out and you need to buy, I'm going to say, just to start off, let's go with 100 Marine bodies. With that 100 Marine bodies, you're going to make a squad, a 10-man squad of las cannons, a 10-man squad of missile launchers, a 10-man squad of heavy bolters, a 10-man squad of flamethrowers, of plasma, of Volkai this, Volkai that. Basically, every single weapon sprue that they have out in Placer right now, you're going to make a 10-man squad of all of that. And then when you get done with that, you're going to make some tac squads with little add-ons, without little add-ons. You're just going to make 20-man squads of every single different version of that. That way, when 3rd edition drops, you're already done. Everything is already painted, and you can feel good about yourself because you have one of everything.
Can I make a suggestion? Kind of along the same lines of where you're going. There's a lot of people that are doing the Sky's Falling, and there's some great army deals to be had on existing armies by people, quote unquote, jumping ship. So you can stock up quite. Go ahead.
Shark.
Jumping to shark. Okay. Yeah, there's some decent and very well painted armies available, in a lot of the groups right now. So if you have money and you want to start another army of some sort that you want to get in without having to paint a whole lot, you might be able to do that pretty cheaply right now.
What should we be doing right now? I like my idea of just buying one of everything.
Well, I was going to say that the first thing that people should do after the Don't Panic is determine if they're going to play a different Legion this next edition, or if they want to start a new Legion. And if they do, no, no,
Ultramarines, what?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, of course he is, of course he is. But if you're going to start a new Legion, figure out what new Legion you're going to start. Okay. Figure out what you're going to need to start off your Legion or start off your forces to build towards whatever you're going to have. Okay. Other than Jack's ability to spend more money than most people out there on the hobby, yes, you should buy. You need bodies. Everyone needs power armor bodies if you're playing a new Legion, or conversely, if you're playing Solar Ox, you should get whatever form of Solar Ox you like. If you're playing mech, you should get whatever form of mech you like. If you're playing demons, you should get whatever form of demons you like. But the first thing you need to do is you need to get bodies. And I don't mean like the specialist bodies. Like, say, for example, you were playing, I don't know, Imperial Fists. You don't need to run out and get Templar Brethren right off the bat. They're cool. They're neat. You'll probably end up getting some eventually, but you don't need some right now. What you're probably going to need to start off the new army is at least 2 troop squads or tactical breachers, assault squads, whatever it is you have that you are going to use. And you're probably going to need to get an HQ. So I would get those first 2 tactical squads of bodies, and then probably a heavy support squad or another form of heavy, and an HQ. And I would start learning to paint the new Legion, which means paints. You're going to need paints. So that would be my first suggestion. Above and beyond anything else, what you're thinking you want to try for your next project army, your next painting project, and pick that up. And don't panic, and don't sit there and go listening to the people who are going, oh my God, the sky is falling, because they don't know anything more than you do. They're just suppositioning it and panicking over nothing. So,
Supposition.
You're right. I'm sorry. I won't use big words. They're just thinking big and going into bad place in head and thought hurt, brain, no. I don't know. I'm not going to do that.
That's where the clown is that touches you deep inside your mind.
I swear, every single time I try to talk about anything with you, somehow it just makes my brain hurt more and more. When I have an aneurysm, it's going to be because of you. I promise you that much. Okay. Yeah, I didn't figure you would. But that is what I would figure out, is what you want to do. Ignore rules, because rule of cool is the most important. And rule of cool says you're going to start a new Legion. Because new edition, new you, start a new Legion or a new force. Please.
With sincerity in my heart on this one. Not that I wasn't sincere about the other one, because build one of everything, then you're foolproof for all the editions. But instead of starting a new Legion or starting, with base, units or all that stuff, find something that you've been really wanting to work on. That pr- you know, not Primark that you've had sitting on your shelf that you haven't had one to tackle because you don't have time and you don't want to put the energy in it yet. Put that energy in it now. Building towards
A
anything.
Warlord Titan.
Yeah,
Or
build a Warlord Titan. Build something that is going to make you go outside your comfort zone, and you're going to spend some time on. And by the time that you get it done, we're going to be 3 months into the new edition, and people will know which way's up at that point.
Yep, that's another good way of doing it. Sit there and look at your hobby backlog or your hobby wish list. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
That's kind of why I'm sitting here doing the Night Lords, is because I knew I was going to do them eventually, and I've always wanted to do them. So
I started putting together demons. Not that I want to do demons. It's just I want to paint demons, not play with demons.
makes perfect sense to me. John, what do you think?
I think you're right. I think look at your backlog. Jamie and I probably have the worst backlogs of many states combined. So I've really just been trying to tackle these old projects. So
Feel insulted.
the nights were half done, so I'm trying to finish those off for the new edition. I'd really like to tackle mech a little more once I know what's official. If we're getting anything that's coming out, or if anything else is going to come. That is currently in plastic is going to get moved over from the 40K side. I'd like to be able to, use that type of stuff. So I'm trying to get as much off the half done pile as I can.
Log is not substantial.
I
That
didn't say that.
is a face lie claim you just stated there, sir. How dare you?
I have a backlog
Okay.
house at this point.
Oh,
That's my problem.
Resin right now, ready to be printed at something.
okay. So ignoring the backlog of doom that's currently threatening to collapse into a singularity in John's house, the resin tubs that Jack currently has filled the propane tank with outside of his home, and the fact that my basement is choked with kits and bits and everything else from everywhere on the internet to create all of the legions at least once over. Yeah, the backlog. Just about everybody has it. I'm working on my backlog to build a new legion. I'm sure that there are people out there who can do whatever to build a project they want, as both Jack and John have mentioned. And that's a good thing to do at this point. Because overall, this isn't just about playing the games. It's not just about the rules. It's not just about having the table that is perfect and the army list that's crafted to crunch all the rules and make everything run. It's about the hobby that goes into it to make the finished result. Take a paint course. Watch YouTube videos to learn a new technique for paint. Pick up a new style of painting. Pick up some new paints that you haven't tried before and throw them onto other stuff. Expand your capabilities as a hobbyist. That's a wonderful thing that we all have time to do. At least hopefully we have time to do. And it's a good thing we can all learn from. I myself am learning with the lightning. I'm working on that with the Night Lords because I've never done lightning effects other than with just decals or decals or decals or however you want to pronounce them. So I'm sitting here trying to work on providing that kind of lighting on the actual models myself through the traditional painting it method. And like I said, never done it before, so trying to learn new ways of doing stuff. Come join the hobby hangout that we have it on Wednesdays. We have a lot of people there who show up every week or show up whenever and however they can, doing painting classes, doing painting advice, helping one another build ideas for how people want to play their game or play with their models or build their models. Reach out to your community around you and see if you can get other people, or if there are other people around you just as interested in third edition coming out. Make connection with them. Make some new friends. Have some fun with them with the current edition that we have until third edition drops, and then continue and power forward with that for the new edition. Expand your knowledge and player base and community outreach base. Have fun with your hobby rather than just worrying about changes that may or may not threaten your army or your lifestyle or your play style or whatever. This isn't just a game. This is everything else that goes with it. So remember to be inclusive with it, your hobby, and have fun. That's the part we all do this for, is to get away from reality of working and all that stuff. So make your hobby fun. Have fun again.
That feeds into your main hobby. Like, learn how to home make paints.
Sure. Jack, do you know how to make paints?
Ground up
That's-
pigment and then add water. No, yeah. Me and Jack are doing the printing thing.
Mini game. It's like a.
Catch up when you're reading.
How do you do that?
So audiobooks. You can do
Oh,
those
Yeah, I was gonna say
audiobooks when you're
audiobooks.
driving. I know. It's okay though. I, for one, have actually recently started a new book series that I'm working my way through, and I'm enjoying so far. No. Nope. I already finished that book series. I'm waiting for the next one on that. I started He Who Fights with Monsters, which is kind of in the same vein but different. It's not bad. Yeah, don't let anything out there that's worrying you or that people are expressing paranoid delusions over, fear mongering about, don't let that crush you down. The hobby's here. You're the hobby. You're part of the hobby. Have fun with it. Get through your backlog. Listen to some other podcasts if you like. Listen to us. Join the Patreon. Join the Discord. Come hang out and do things.
Please join the Patreon. Please, if you want to see Duncan paint Ultramarines, join the Patreon. You bring them up.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do.
The road to 100. The road to 100.
Reach out to your friends in your local gaming club. See if they need help with terrain. Get together with them. Build more terrain. Paint terrain.
Terrain is timeless. It will always work for every game system.
Yep. Find ways to expand your hobby and have fun with you in your hobby in new and exciting ways, rather than worrying and being paranoid and stressing so much about the changes that we don't have any actual positive or negative proof about before you do anything else.
Until the new edition comes out.
That sounds like a wonderful hobby. Jack, would you smoke a brisket for me when you get home?
For you, no.
Thank you. I appreciate your help. Okay, that's fair.
What else can we be doing for the love of the game while we're waiting for the new edition to drop, and we're desperately trying not to fall into the pathway of paralysis because we don't know what we need to do / want to do / can do. I have an idea.
So
Play euchre.
Should be disposed.
please do, Jack. Please do.
Look up and figure out alternative paint schemes for your Legionnaires.
Okay. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Looking at like the Ultramarines as a whole, not to keep circling back down that, but they had how many different companies during the Heresy?
I wouldn't know. They didn't actually do anything during the Heresy.
Sincerely, like they had hundreds of companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
realistically, they
Yeah,
did.
and for those companies, moving forward in time, you have the chapters, so you have those paint schemes. So the what turned into the Nova Marines, they were in the Heresy already segmenting their paint scheme to what you would think of in 40K. So this coming, researching, coming up with that one. That way, when you do start building new stuff, you're not, expanding your palette to other things. And plus, it's fun to watch people's brain explode. And we're like, what? You can't have that color? Oh, but I do, buddy. But I do.
Yeah, I mean, coming up with the 17th Grand Company for the Iron Warriors, or how you want to paint them, stuff like that. Great idea. One thing I'm personally doing is I'm actually plotting out how and what I want to add onto the current legions that I already have and the legions I'm working on now and that I plan to build in the future. I'm acquiring stuff.
You know,
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I just don't know if I'm going to do it soon, but I will be repainting the Iron Warriors from the ground up. I'll probably put them. I don't know. I may auction them. I may put them on eBay. I might give the army away. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the army as it is right now. Some stuff I'll obviously repaint, but eventually I'll probably do stuff with the rest of it that I don't repaint. I mean, it was made back in 5th edition, 40K, so that's what, 5 editions ago for 40K?
yes.
Almost 16 years ago.
Jesus, don't say that.
Yeah.
Lie to me.
Yeah. Okay, almost 17 years ago, Jack.
Has it been that long?
Probably close to it.
Did that happen?
Me?
Like 22 or something like that?
No,
You look
much older.
Well,
Just because I'm skinny and you're like skinny shaming me.
oh. John, what are your thoughts on that? What are things you think that people could do other than what we've already suggested towards basically coming ready or planning for the next while?
I mean, I really think we've covered a lot of it. I mean, terrain is timeless. I really liked going through all this stuff. I found a whole freaking table that I'd built and based and primed and never really finished. And so that's going to be kind of one of the next things I'm working on. I'm also kind of looking at some of the other kind of half projects or side projects that I'd picked up through the years. So I bought a Helldiver figure that I wanted to paint up. I've got some other Gundams and kits like that I've been wanting to look at for a long time that really haven't had time to touch on because of all this other stuff. So I'm just looking at a lot of the other, kind of side projects that I want to pick up. I'm also getting all the stuff together that once 3.0 kicks off, that we can have a lot of welcome events and painting classes and things like that. Stuff that we can use to build the hobby once we know it's a direction it's going. A lot of stuff that we can use just to build out.
I was going to say something that I don't think we've really touched on too much is something that everyone out there can do, and that's kind of be an ambassador for the hobby. Is talk to other people and provide them encouragement, because people are going to sit there, and we're obviously, with the new edition, we're going to have new people coming in, refugees from 40K who don't want to play 40K and want to see what 30K is about. People who get sucked in by the, ooh, Saturnine, that looks cool. Those miniatures look neat. People who are reading the books and brought in. Just go and be a good community ambassador or hobby ambassador. Welcome people. Don't be exclusionary. Let them come in, let them learn, let them play. Introduce them to the hobby, and maybe they'll stick around. Maybe they'll have fun. Maybe you've made a new best friend. You never know.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes, I mean, just like that in what was it, Step Brothers, I believe?
I think so. I don't know.
It's been forever since I saw that movie.
I mean, you did say you'd let him touch your brisket, so
You did, Jack. You did say someone could touch your brisket.
My brisket head. Weird.
I don't really have a lot else. Anyone else? Any other ideas?
Sit with it.
John? Jack?
Continue to hang out and have fun with the people that I play this game with. Because the rules may change, but the people never will.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, just I do what I normally do. I'm just gonna stock up more and see what see what comes of the new rules and go from there, and then work on painting.
So another thing, I know there's a lot of groups out there that host Heresy events and are still hosting Heresy events. The ATC event is coming up down in Tennessee, and I know that Music City Heresy has reached out. They're actually back at the they're back, so they're going to do the Music City Heresy event again. That's going to be at the NashCon Gaming Convention, August 14th through the 17th at the Sheraton Music City, or Music City Sheraton, whatever it's called. I know that just about every single person here has been to that, or all the hosts have been to that a couple times, and we all love that and have hung out there.
I've not.
You haven't?
No, I have not. I've never been.
Oh,
Because it's always usually it's usually the weekend that soccer season starts in the fall. So
well, this year it starts on my anniversary, so yeah, I'm hopefully going to be able to make it down there and do stuff. We'll see. But find an event close to you. Go out, have fun, build the crazy wacky list that you have that you've never actually played because it was too insane. It's the end of second edition, baby. Do what you want. Have fun with it. Just, remember rule number 1. Don't be a dick. That's more like one of the commandments, not a rule.
I thought rule number 1 was pay your phone bill.
Well, I mean, there's so many different variants. I don't know. Do we even really need rules at this time? It's just societal norms that most people ignore anyway.
Evolving. So I think I know what that means.
It's time to call it a night.
You can tell John to do that thing.
Well, hold on. Are there any events that we need to shout out first?
Music City Heresy.
Yes, Music City Heresy, which I just did.
So proud.
I know that
I'll be hosting another event at Dallas Games Marathon on the 21st. So if we don't have a book by then, we're still running 2.0 there. So it's a good chance to say goodbye.
Yep. I know that ATC is running their events down in Chattanooga. There will be a Heresy event there. That is still going to be second edition, I believe, no matter what.
As far as I know, yeah, I think Blake and is it Mace are doing all
it's Blake and Mace.
The event are doing all that, and as far as I know, that's all still second edition.
Yep. So that is it's in July this year. It is July the 11th through the 13th, 2025, and that is in Chattanooga, as I said. So, John, what was your
event up here in Lansing at Hoplite Games on June 28th, noon to, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 p.m. Depends how long it takes to play through the rounds for people. Probably will be the last 2.0 event up here in Michigan that I'm involved with. So yeah, come out, have fun. Details on the Hoplite Games Discord.
Yeah, we've got events every third Saturday, so that will be the 21st of June and the 19th of July. And then Ferrix just announced their large event this year is going to be on August 16th to the 17th in Richardson, Texas, at the Soccer Spectrum venue. We'll be playing on the field. There's a bar with drinks and food and everything on site. Yes, Richardson, Texas.
Jack, aren't you the one who's sitting here telling us that we're devolving and that you... How long have you been awake?
No longer there. It's been a long stretch of stuff where I've been mentally going. So I'm gone.
he did start this with the packaging of his cookies,
Yeah,
like
he
right
did.
off the get go.
He did.
So
He did. It's okay, Jack. We all forgive you, so it's okay. As long as you can forgive yourself, that's all that matters, buddy. We know. We know. I think so.
Yep. We're still going to be here. We're still going to be talking about Heresy. We are going to still be talking about stuff to do when you're in between editions. I guess would the correct term for this would be second edition is now lame duck. Would that be the correct term?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
So in this of lame duckness.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we will have some non-speculative information to talk about whenever Games Workshop decides to give us full information.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we ourselves, as far as I know, all plan to have rule books day one. Plan to hang out, play games, and we'll be here to go over rules together and answer questions from what we ourselves can glean once we have books in hand. Yep, I will absolutely be writing lists for people who ask day one. They'll either be outstanding or something else. I don't know what.
There'll be normal Duncan lists, no scoring, and just
no
kill them all.
scoring, all chain axes. I hope everybody's ready for the exact same list, just with different color Legion paint.
He'll be a certified rules expert by release day plus 3 minutes.
Yep. Because I will panic over every single thing and read all the rumors and speculation that we've told you not to do. Anyhow, I think at this point we're all good. So, John, why don't you tell Brian to tell Jack to tell me that we're all done?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. There's one
Oh?
thing that we need to say. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Yeah, wherever
Sure.
you find us, please like, subscribe, notifications, all the fun stuff.
And make sure we get I was going to say, we need to get more members joining the Patreon to get that number 100.
Yeah, you can find us at heresypodcast.com. It links to pretty much everything.
That's
And
not
if
where
it
I thought
doesn't,
where
it
this
will
was
eventually.
going.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be sure to spread the word of Blake. God bless.
No.
Wrong game system, dude. But yeah.
Yeah. Take us out of here before this gets worse.
Thank you for joining us on this, the 129th
Ninth.
episode of the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. I'm John, and I've been joined by
Brian.
Duncan.
Jamie.
and Jack. We appreciate you listening to us tonight. Always remember to stay accountable to your buddies and your hobby and your friends. And we'll talk to you next time. Good night.
Don't know if anything's bad happening if you don't know it's happening. Good night, all of you.
Okay. Hey,
Night.
Jack, what are we titling this one? You say this like every other episode, so I'm going to go with yes. Yes, you should have.
At least a month now.
We didn't record for at least 2 of those weeks.
Well, it's been 4 of those weeks, but after you're there. So what do you want to call this one, buddy?
What do we call this last one?
No shame in my game. I think that's what we called the last one. Or
Third edit is on the way. Keep calm and heresy on.
Keep calm
Yeah,
and heresy on. Okay. If you could send that to me on a message so I could spell it correctly, and then I'll stop this recording because this is all going into the recording.
I will absolutely send that to you, Jack.